welcome to this little series I'm going to be doing about how I go about preparing study guides and material. I've done, over 30 of these study guides over the past 20 years, and we have our lovely new John's one here. Done over 30 of these study guides, commentaries on the Bible over the past 20 years, and we thought it might be nice for me to explain how I go about preparing a book of the Bible, studying it and producing something like this, a study guide with all the questions, illustrations. How is it done? How do we go about studying the Bible in this way? Actually, I always think, well, almost any of us can do that. I don't know whether we're all able to write so much. Some of us find it easier to type or write than others, but that way of studying the Bible so that you really get to know a book of the Bible and get to know what's the big truth about Jesus that this book of the Bible is teaching me. Any of us can do it. And when we first began the whole project of book by book, it was because we kept bumping into people who said, I can't handle a whole book of the Bible. It's too much. It's impossible. I'm not an expert. I'm not a specially trained theologian. I don't have Greek and Hebrew and books. I'm just an ordinary person. And Richard Buse, who really had the passion for it from the very beginning, he was saying anyone can read a book of the Bible. Anyone can study a book of the Bible and get deep. And so what we'll do in this little series is just try to explain the process I go through anyway, and I'll tell you how I go about studying a book of the Bible and getting deep into it. I'm always hesitant to say that because I'm aware that the Bible is so deep, and there's parts of the Bible that I've read and read and read since I was a little boy till now, and as soon as I go back to them, there's more to them. Always more. There's always depth. There's always riches. It was the great Saint Augustine who once said you could almost preach a sermon on the same verse every single week, and it could be totally fresh and new every single time, because the Holy Spirit who wrote those scriptures inspires the preaching and the hearing of it, so that for all of us it would have a kind of freshness and a newness. New things would be impacted upon us because the Spirit would give life to these truths of the Bible. So I'm very aware of that we never really get to the bottom of a book of the Bible, because there's always more, and the living God speaks and applies this to us. But all of us could get to a point where we sort of get what it's about and what's the big truth of Jesus being presented there. Just even this morning I was looking at Mark chapter 1, and I must have read that hundreds of times, and yet there was such a fresh appreciation of who Jesus is and what he's doing. That's the way it is when we come to the Bible. If we come with that openness of heart and mind and a commitment to read it, well, that's what we're going to do in this little series. Well, I'm going to explain how I have used basically the same method, the same pattern of study and work every time I've done one of these books of the Bible and produced these little study guides. So I'm going to explain how it is that I do that, and hopefully it'll be a blessing to you.